we're talking about accelerating mainframe efficiency, and this is our training and onboarding webinar.
One major issue, as you can see on the screen here, is that mainframe teams are actually hampered by a lack of mainframe environments. They don't have access to the mainframe as often as they'd need to execute the change that they want to. And as I mentioned in the last webinar, it's amazingly over a third of respondents said that they had a critical need for more z/OS environments. And perhaps equally relevant for today's conversation as well, that 79% of respondents, mainframe leaders, remember, they talked about inadequate tooling and skills challenges that were hampering progress for business change. So that's 8 out of 10 that are worried that, their skills aren't good enough or the tooling isn't good enough, and a third are in critical need of more environments. It's a fair conclusion, I think, to draw that these are big challenges when it comes to mainframe training.
And I just want to bring up this quote here that we have from a mainframe training instructor who is also a member of the new Emma apprenticeship program in EMEA, and that's Andy Brislin. Stuart, would you agree with the points that Andy makes here?
I absolutely would. I know that Andy's on the call as well. I can see him in the attendee list. But yeah, absolutely agree. And I'd go as far as suggesting that the training environments need to be treated as much as an internal product as perhaps some of the other things like the CI pipelines. They require constant adjustment at the software, potentially infrastructure level. We've got updates from the tools, maintenance levels, new extensions. Certainly, we're seeing a lot of Java runtime changes in the last few years. So all of it needs to be version controlled and most importantly, potentially reset in short turnaround between one course ending and the next one starting. So just to reiterate that the pop-up is instantly available with z/OS. We're using IBM technology, so this isn't us creating an emulation. This is real z/OS on the Linux layer. So anything you want to run in the training environment that comes from your z/OS, we're good with that. The fast track term that I'm using is the facility that PopUp have created, as our own IP to relieve bottlenecks, because we want to be able to go from those different training environments as quickly as possible. It doesn't have to be training environments, but that's the focus of this webinar. I've mentioned they can be provisioned on Linux on Z. So if you've got IFLs, that's a good use case. If you've got Linux One, it can be done on that. And then if you've got a hyperscaler like Amazon or Azure, these training environments can be spun up in the cloud just for the length of time that the training course is required.
There's no way in the world I would ever use some type of a platform that didn't provide everything necessary to learn COBOL, to learn assembler, to learn JCL, and you really need to have that. I mean, it's absolutely critical. You can't learn these things by looking at slides, taking quizzes, and getting badges. It's something that you just have to know. I mean, you have to be able to get into.
So you're as a trainer, I've done these things. You're not reliant on technicians being available to provide you the environment. You can do it when you need to. And then increasing the delivery of training empowers those practitioners to be more productive. So maybe after a course, they can go back and reuse the training environment to reinforce everything they've learned.
We don't have time to wait around to get an environment prepared. And we can't use any type of a simulator. So something that runs a real LPAR is extremely important. And the quick turnaround from semester to semester is also critical. So, we say that we have 3.5, maybe 4 weeks between the fall semester and the spring. Well, that's really, if you're depending on someone else to set up the environment, like the university mainframe that we use out of New York, they're not dedicated entirely to us. So quick turnaround is important. That's all there is to it.
You can also see there are basic pop-up controls, so you can stop and start the pop-up environment without having to log into the underlying Linux layer and know the commands for starting your environment. We also have the ability to take snapshots, give them a name and a descriptive comment or tag if you like. So you know the purpose of the snapshot that you're using. So just to reiterate, a snapshot is a complete copy of your pop-up instance at a certain point in time that you can return to at any point. Just a quick, sorry. So this is the end of the course. The module is complete and they have taken another snapshot. So if the instructor would like to start the same COBOL course for new students the week after, it's very easy for them to switch back to the start of the COBOL course using one of the easy buttons, as some of us would say, I guess.
The whole premise of what we're talking about here is based on the fact that there are many people, different functions within the mainframe organization that have different types of struggles. They may be caused by these access issues that we were talking about in the survey. But it manifests itself in different ways to different teams, whether they're developers or testers or sysprogs, as Geoffrey was just talking about, or of course, like today with trainers. So we've written that up and tried to describe that in a sort of a series of articles, a narrative, and that's the first link you see at the top there. And we think it touches on all of the potential use cases for PopUp Mainframe, but there may be others that as you read it, they may uncover other things in your organization that matters to you. The second link is specifically to this story today, the whole training scenario.